welcome back to Japan, where we continue our track-by-track listen through to Unseen World, the new album by Band-Maid. We've moved on to the song HGK today. At this point, we're on track 6. As always, this is a review video. If you want to see the reaction where I listen to the song, pause this, click the link in the description below, and it will open up a separate player where you can watch the song, just in case you haven't heard it before for some reason, or if you want to see how I reacted upon first hearing it. And also, just wanted to say, remember, this is part of a track-by-track playlist, so if you want to follow all of the listen-throughs to every single track on this album, do click on that link to open up the playlist if you haven't already. Anyway, like I say, this is a review video, so if you're not already pausing and watching that reaction, don't say I didn't warn you. Spoilers, here comes the review. Okay, so this one was an interesting one, HGK. I must admit, when it first came in, I was getting a slight mixed feeling about it, because my initial thoughts certainly were very different from my thoughts at the end of the song, which is great. I love when a first listen can really sort of take you on a bit of a journey. But the initial impact, I was like, okay, it's coming in, it's sounding like it's doing something that we've already kind of heard quite a bit of in this album. Fine to keep up the energy, but here's another sort of very fast song. It was doing the lots and lots happening at once thing that we'd already heard in so many previous songs, but it felt a little bit more messy. It didn't quite feel like songs. It had a similar vibe to No God, in my opinion, but didn't quite feel as tight as No God. But what was interesting is, like I say, I got the feeling that, okay, this is intentionally supposed to sound chaotic. Again, a bit like No God did, but No God felt a bit tighter in that respect. What happened over the course of this song, though, is it started to steer itself in a direction where, just through some good writing, good use of a nice sort of old school guitar solo bridge, it fed into a really good crescendo. I like the ending. The ending kind of surprised me, and maybe I will need a couple more listens to really sort of work out exactly how the technique worked. But I felt that the idea is the ending was very clear, kind of anthemic, it was big, everything was tight at the ending, and I felt like all the chaos that had gone before was driving it towards that direction where it was waiting to sort of burst out into this nice, refreshing end. And this is not to say that it didn't have choruses throughout the song, obviously it did, but it did feel like that crescendo really came well together. I think probably knowing it, you're at the end of the song is why. So this was an interesting balance between chaos and a sort of big and anthemic sing-along quality. I think that, again, this is another one where the really good quality of mixing on this album, and it is quite a compressed album, but they've not over-compressed it, and the mixing has been done in a way that it really complements that. You know, it doesn't feel like everything's being crushed. It doesn't feel like mastering people are working against the mixing engineer. It doesn't feel like there's that sort of juxtaposition, which unfortunately it did on Conqueror. I will say again, I thought Conqueror was beautifully produced, but I think a lot of that was killed by average mixing and frankly quite awful mastering. So in this one, I think there's an element of elevation. I think if this song had not been mixed as well as it had, it could come off sounding a little bit messy and a little bit underwhelming. And that's often the thing, is often when you're working with a band who are writing a song, like, you need to have people who can listen to it and say, okay, that would work live, but on a recording this is going to sound like a problem. And this is one of those songs where I think live this would definitely work. Just the energy would be passed into the audience. And obviously you don't listen as clearly when you're in a live crowd as you do when you're listening on good headphones to a recording where the quality is just higher anyway. So it's one of those things where, you know, a good engineer will be able to sit down and listen to say, okay, this is going to be a problem to do on recording, but they got it together. They mixed it well. It was nice to use a stereo pan. I like when those little guitar bits were coming in, they were sort of panned to the left a lot, which gave it a nice, gave everything room. And we will be doing another video on sort of mixing and EQ mixing techniques sometime soon for anyone who enjoyed the explainer videos we did last year. So yeah, I think there was a lot of good technique which really went into making this work. From the standpoint of writing, I must admit, again, it feels like it's kind of in tune with the rest of the album. It's a good song. It works. It's not doing anything that we haven't already heard on this album. This album is certainly giving itself, for the first half, we've now completed the first half of the album, it's certainly set out an identity. It's very hard, it's very charging, it's all about lots and lots of content, lots is being thrown in. I think most of the songs, everything's felt like it's been well balanced. This is the first song where maybe it felt a little bit too cluttered to me. Like I said, I would hold this up against No God as being a very clear comparison. For me, No God just felt much more like everything was meshed together better. This one felt like it was one of those songs that would be better for like a live show. It certainly has that. This one's all about pure energy, and although there is fantastic playing, the arrangement doesn't necessarily focus you on hearing anything particularly sort of stand out in that sense. It's just all a big bundle of energy. So this one, I think, to me, again, I'm going to say a similar thing about this like I did with the previous track, which I still seek revenge. Yeah, I keep calling it I will seek revenge. I still seek revenge. And that this, like I still seek revenge, has got that middle of the album kind of vibe. It feels like, I'm not going to say filler because I think these songs are way too good to be filler, but it feels like one which is in keeping with the album, is in keeping with the quality that the album has set, but isn't doing anything that takes us in a new direction. It's just kind of a good mid-album track. So I enjoyed this. I would say that I certainly would enjoy this when listening to the album again, because this is so far just adrenaline sort of album. I would definitely be more than happy to listen to this each time the album goes around, but I don't think I would seek this song out individually. I would be very surprised if this came out as a single or anything. Yeah, it's got a big anthemic ending, but I don't think it really necessarily sets up much in the way of it doesn't really sort of throw itself above the rest of the album in the way that you would kind of ask a single to do. I think a single's either got to be very sort of different, or, you know, it's got to have something that launches it above the rest of the album. This just kind of feels in keeping with the album. So, yeah, like I say, like it, definitely happy to listen to it again, definitely glad it's on the album. Don't think it necessarily takes me in any direction that haven't been before, just kind of elongates the quality that's already been set up to this point. So, I am looking forward to moving on to, now the next track I'm kind of interested. I won't talk about it too much because I'll save it for that review, but the next track is over 4.5 minutes, and it's called Sayonara Kidori. So I'm getting a feeling that we might be about to charge into something a bit of a ballad or something a little bit more slow. I don't know. I'm probably going to be totally disproved when that happens. It's probably going to be like a big anthemic metal piece. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing what follows. I think that this certainly has finished the first half of the album with a real clear intention. Anyone who had any worry that Band-Maid weren't still Band-Maid or weren't still going to lean on their rock callings have been disproven. Not that I think many people would do. This certainly has done what they do best, and I think it's elevated it to a very high level. I think there's great quality in here. I think it's a good mixture of tempos and everything. Really, all the players were sort of on point. We're hearing a lot of their musicianship really come to the forefront. Now I'm really hoping that the second half of the album is going to give me some sign of some variation. So some of them doing stuff that maybe isn't so much to the liking of the more diehard fans. But I want to see that creative skill really come out, because I've enjoyed the first half of the album. It's been the Band-Maid we know and we love, so now it's time to shock me. Anyway, as always, these are just my opinions. Said it a million times. We reviewed every single Band-Maid song on this channel, although most of those reviews got deleted, unfortunately. Reviewed every single Band-Maid song on this channel. I've seen them live. We've enjoyed so much of their music. Followed this as a big journey, and really enjoyed talking to the fans as well. Enjoy having good, honest conversation about this. And I've worked with music my entire adult life, but my opinions are just my opinions. Music is only as good as it is to the listener. So please feel free to give me your opinions, whether you agree or disagree. Get in there and tell me why as well. It's lovely when you justify the opinions so that maybe you can give me something to think about that I haven't, and we can really help join the discussion. A big thank you to everyone who likes, subscribes, does any of the YouTube stuff, who follows any of the social media we have linked in the description below. Especially a massive thank you to our patrons. We're not monetized, so you guys, I call you out in every video because you really do keep this thing alive. And of course, thank you to you for making it through to the end of this Waffle Fest video. So until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, which will be following not too long after, for now, ciao ciao.